Hi, friends. Happy Monday. Whoops. Let's see. Just a second. Let me find. There we go. That's what I was looking for. It's good to see y'all. Thank you for joining. Oh, I need to turn on my light back here. So important, of course. But yeah, very happy to have y'all joining us on this wonderful Monday. I hope you got a chance to watch the episode 5, Get in Gear. Philip and I just finished it a couple minutes ago. So this week, it's been a very busy week with it being Father's Day. We spent some time with my in-laws and it was a wonderful weekend, but yeah, very busy. And Philip had just gotten back from his trip on Thursday, I think, or maybe it was Tuesday, but still, it's been nice to get to spend time with them again. So, but very excited to have you join tonight. We are going to be talking about LEGOMaster Season 5, Episode 5, and excited to share some fun behind-the-scenes stories with y'all and with our friends Maia and Jamie. So, hello. So I'm seeing we've got Missy and Bev and Tabitha. Yay, fun. Hi, Phil and Bricks. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. But yeah, very, very excited to have y'all join. So for starters, I'm going to bring in John. Yay!
Let's get in gear.
Get in gear. Let's see.
Get in gear.
Move me off of. There we go. Okay, let's see.
I like that I make this just like omniscient voice, like currently. Like, get in gear. Get in gear.
Magic. There we go. That's the setting I wanted.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Friend. I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. A little sleepy, but doing all right. So
it sounds.
How was your weekend? Yeah, it was really good. We went to see Toy Story 5. On Friday, which is so good.
I can't believe that's out in theaters, and I completely
know
about that.
I know.
It was
good.
But it was
so
good.
Oh my gosh, it was very, very good. I love all the Toy Story movies, but this one, I felt like they just nailed it with the emotions, like they always do. The storytelling was beautiful. I was a little nervous with them doing a 5th movie. Like, how many times can they retell this story in a new way that still makes it worthwhile? And I felt like it was just perfect. So,
well, the tech versus toy, like thing, I feel like it was perfect. So I was very curious. Like, I think it was during like I forget what it said. Was it D? What's their conference called? D something.
Oh yeah.
Someone in the chat knows.
I can't remember. Yeah.
D20 or D something.
D20. Yeah, it might be D20 or D20.
D something though. But I remember when it came out, and it was like they were doing Agatha all along and everything.
Yeah.
Toy Story, and I was like, well, that's interesting. Lily Pad. Okay, Lily Pad is the name of the tech thing. I'm really excited about it. So over the weekend, I was up in Denver, and we were doing a couple of festivals and things. And I was with my best friend and his husband, and we were talking about movies. They were like, oh my gosh, and Project Hail Mary. And I'm like, I've never seen Project Hail Mary.
It's so good.
I know. And so we watched it over the course of 2 nights. And like last night, like the night before, like we finished it, and I was just I am such a Rocky fan now. Like I am.
Yes.
Amazing.
I
just, oh gosh, I don't know if anybody else like wants to like, I don't know, erase your brain to watch a movie all over again. And I want to do that for that movie.
Ooh, I love that idea. That's a phenomenal movie. And so we saw Toy Story. We saw that one. Well, we saw Project Hail Mary a while ago. But I just got the set in the mail, so I want to rewatch it and build it. And then Toy Story 5 on Friday. And then yesterday we saw Disclosure Day, which is the new Spielberg film.
How was it? I'm hearing a lot of mixed reactions right now.
Okay. Yeah. We loved it. So Philip is a huge Spielberg fan. And even if it wasn't a good movie, I think Philip would still think that it was the best ever. But it truthfully was really good. I think I was nervous that it was going to be scary because I get scared very easily, and it wasn't. It had the kind of suspense that you get if you were to like take E.T. and make it just a little bit more suspenseful. So yeah, but it was
I was kind of expecting
powerful.
But I still want to see. No, I need to go see it. I have no time to go see it this weekend. or this week, or next weekend, or the week. Team 23. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Yes.
I knew it was. I was like 20 something. But I do want to see that eventually.
Yeah.
So, on my list.
I would say if it's possible to see in a theater, I would, just because I feel like Spielberg does movies so well for theaters. But even if it's not, I think it's still very satisfying.
That's how I feel about Project Hail Mary now. Now I wish that I would have seen it, because we're watching it on the TV and I'm just like, oh man, it would have been like incredible to watch it. So I missed out. I did miss out.
No, I mean, I'm glad you still saw it, which is good. And I want to see it again now that it's available for streaming. Okay, well, let's bring in.
I know. I'm like,
Maia
get to the guest. Get to the guest.
Get to the good stuff.
Amaze.
Hey, everyone.
Hello, friends.
Oh my God. Can we like just all give each other hugs like right now?
Just virtual hug. I like it.
It's so good to see you guys.
So good to see you guys too. It's been too long.
It has been too long.
It's been almost like, what are we like? We're coming up on the year anniversary since we saw each other last, right?
Yes.
I think so. Would it have been Brick Rodeo?
Yeah, July 4th weekend last year.
Yeah. Wow. And I think the same for John, but I don't think either of us have seen you, Jamie, in person since we filmed.
No, I'm an avatar.
You live in this little tiny box on my.
That's it. My built the whole season around her, and I was just like a prop thing.
Is that what you were? That makes more sense now, huh?
He only exists behind the camera, so.
Oh yes.
Yeah. But I've seen you now. Was it like 3 times now? Since 3 times?
Yeah, I think. Well, I know at least the 2 Brick Rodeos. One was secret before the show came out. One was after the show came out, and I'm trying to think if there was another time.
Yeah, I think that's.
Hi, Mom.
Okay. I didn't know who that was. That's even more fun. Hello.
Oh, I forgot my sign. Hi, Mom. I'm on
TV. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love it so much.
So that's something that Maia just said, was that we all got to see each other for the first time at Brick Rodeo about 6 months later 6 or 7 months later after we filmed. But we couldn't all say that we knew each other, so we had to pretend to kind of meet each other at Brick Rodeo. So it was kind of like covert, because there were an obscene number of us that were actually using Brick Rodeo as like a reunion, and it was lovely to see each other. But we're like, it's so good to meet you, Maia. Oh wow, it's great. Like Canada, that's crazy.
How do I explain that one? You know, my first. Literally my first rodeo, and like, what made you come all the way down here? I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. I just did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Texas just sounded fun.
Right. At that Brick Rodeo, Maia won an award too. And it was so awesome to see you recognized. And I was like, I'm just celebrating this random person I just met. She's so great. Congrats on your award. But I was like, I would love for people to know, like, no, she's really a good friend too. So, but yeah.
And now everyone knows.
And now everyone knows.
Yeah. Which also, so I'm seeing in the chat, Sean was just saying Brick World was epic. Joe beat me for best movement with his octopus. So Joe from our season, if you didn't get a chance to see, he posted it on Instagram, did a great job. But Sean, who's writing here, did a really cool build of Anger from Inside Out.
Yes.
That bounces back and forth, and it's interactive. It's so good. So yeah, it's that time again for a convention season, which is fun to get to start to see builds of our friends and builds of people that we haven't met yet. So none of us, I think, were at Chicago, right?
Nope. Otherwise, I would be very tired right now.
Right. Yeah.
I probably would have just gotten in.
Yeah, the same energy level might not show up.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, lots and lots of fun. And I love that we get those opportunities for reunions. But for myself, I think there's like 4 or 5 people, Jamie being one of them, that I haven't seen yet in person. So I cannot wait to get to see you in person again soon. Give you a big hug.
I just have to look at I literally had to look at the Inside Out thing. I had to look at it.
Really yeah. It's so good. Let me pull you.
Yeah, he did a great job on that.
He did.
John, put that up.
Yeah.
Put that up to the screen again.
No. I love this. Look how cute that is.
It's so good. It's very, very good. Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that?
And it's huge. It's like really, really large. But so good. Yay! Good job.
I love that. That's so cool.
I now want to make that decision on who would be the best.
Hey, Philip.
Hi, Philip.
Philip says hello. So what we're here, of course, to talk about is we've been doing our rewatch of this season, which has been so fun. And John and I have gotten the pleasure of getting to chat with some of our friends. And honestly, it was a fully selfish reason to do these live streams so that we could say hi to our friends and chat. So thank you for everybody who's joined for these, which has been so much fun, but especially for our special guests who've joined us each week. So today we're going to talk about the Get in Gears episode. So this is episode 5. And I'm going to play a quick video that describes the challenge. So this is one of the videos they gave to us to share. So watch this and then we'll continue the chat.
And Justin, and we are building with a push function.
Is exactly the challenge here today.
We're asking our teams to really incorporate motion into their model to really tell a compelling story through movement.
And we really want the movement to be the star of the show. And for the first time ever, our teams are actually going head to head.
Good luck, good luck, good luck.
Competing against another team for a place in the top 4 or the bottom 4.
Pizza's cold, like your build.
What's so difficult about the head-to-head?
There is no middle ground. There is nowhere for these teams to hide. They're either top of the pile or they're at risk of elimination. How scary is that?
It is terrifying.
I'm pushing buttons that I normally push and they just aren't working the way that they normally do. Here we go. Hi again.
Like your build.
Build like your build. That was, John's big shade that he threw.
That's so mean.
Where would these even come from? What did we even say? Honestly.
Well, the show made us do.
Well, it was so funny because we were both, I think both of our teams were both known as the nice folks. And so like, it was like, no, I think nobody wanted to pick us when they were choosing teams because it was like, who wants to throw shade at those folks? They're super nice.
Oh, God. I love, that was my favorite part though, was at the very beginning when everybody had to like choose the opponents though. And then it was like, you know what, the nice people, like all 4 of us, we just like, all right, I guess we're all just squaring off against each other. Like, there we go.
Totally. And I've got another fun clip that kind of plays on the fun of us all being the nice folks that I'll share in just a little bit too. The way the story is set up for us is we walk in, we see the steampunk type huge, not even steampunk, we see this huge machine that's gears and buttons and knobs and all different types of things when we first walk in, and Will is in there. And I think we walked in, but Amy and Jamie weren't in there yet. So when we first walked in, do y'all remember what you thought the challenge might be, or like what your thoughts were around like what might be happening?
Well, I definitely got a steampunk vibe. Like as soon as you walk in, that was fairly obvious. But I thought we were going to have to do more of a steampunk build rather than a build with movement. So that was a bit of a surprise because I think up until episode 5. We had only had one challenge where we needed to do a function, which was episode 4. And so for, the wedding cake and for the Over the Falls, we couldn't include power functions with those ones. So that was just another like back to back, you need to add movement to your build. So.
Yeah. John, do you remember your first impression of it when you walked in or?
I just remember seeing the gears. I kind of saw the machine, but it was more so on the gears behind, and then I was just like, oh, motion. So
yeah.
But I think that it was once we actually got closer, like to Maia's point, like that's when I was like, oh, this is a moment. This is a vibe. Like it's not just big gears from the back. Like, oh, we're walking into a different world. And I was like, I love the idea of steampunk. I wore a little copper-ish maroon today in like honor of it, but like I'm not like so familiar that I'm like, oh yeah, I know exactly what I'm gonna play in terms of like century and all that. I was like, this might be a stretch, but it's going to be fun, but it's going to look weird. So
yeah.
I know for myself, I was a little worried because I was like thinking, we just got out of Wicked. We knew nothing about that. And in my head, I was thinking, I know nothing about steampunk. I'm going to be like a total disaster here for 2 episodes in a row. I was like, no.
I was similarly nervous with the steampunk theme because while I'm familiar with it in terms of an idea and concept, I'd never built anything in that type of style. And I'd seen some incredible builds from other people in that style and thought, oh, that could be fun to learn sometime. But I'd never really experienced it. And I was, I feel like I remember walking in and seeing the gears on the big wall of machinery. And I thought, for sure, this is a movement challenge. So my mind went there first. And the steampunk, I think I started to pick up on more when Amy and Jamie walked out because their outfits were like steampunk for sure. So they looked incredible. And you did see a little glimpse of that in that little video clip. But in the challenge that we're given, we are told that it is a movement challenge. And so the motion needs to be the hero of the story. So it has to be basically the lead piece that is telling our story or driving our story. And then we're told that it's going to be a head-to-head battle. And Richard Gears, who was the name that Will gave to the big machinery behind him, would pick one team who could then pick another team to go battle against. So the order that went was Anne and Luke were chosen first by the machine. They chose Nikki and Britton. And then the people that you chose as the opposite team, they were the ones who got to choose the movement. And so Nikki and Britton chose swing. So kind of like back and forth. Ben and Michael then were chosen next by Richard Gears. And they chose Corey and Rebecca, who then chose twist. Anthony and Joe were picked. And so they chose Sage and Ian. And Sage and Ian chose spin. And then Maia and Jamie chose us by default because the 4 of us, our 2 teams were left over, as well as the leftover movement that we had was push. So I'm curious, since we ended up in the like, no one gets to choose these different things, what motion would you have wanted to choose?
I don't know. I think I probably would have chosen swing or push. And I think twist would have been really difficult to do. I didn't really have a plan going in for twist, even though you can do some pretty cool stuff with that. And I felt like spin was too simple. So kind of the opposite. And I wanted to kind of have a middle ground. So I was fairly happy with push. And we kind of had an idea pretty fast of how to incorporate it into our build. So I think that worked pretty good for us.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's, and for me, I was just like, just trying to compute, okay, like how are we, if we're going to do something, build something, like, Maya was like, Dad, you're like really in charge of like putting all the mechanics together. And so I was like thinking for each one. And then as they were chosen, I'm like, okay, don't have to worry about that. Start thinking about the other. Okay, don't have to worry about that one. Okay, start thinking about the other. Okay, don't have to worry about that.
Nice. Yeah. What about you, John?
I think I would have chosen, push was like, I felt like the most comfortable with it after, and I'm trying to go back in time. Right. I think when I first saw all of them, I think I would have done what Maya just said. I probably would have chosen swing. Because I like the back and forth, and I like the tick-tock of it, or the swinging of the pendulum or something like that. I feel like we would have probably ended up doing something, in like the pendulum space. But I loved it. But looking back, I'm like, I think when we got assigned it, I was just like, oh, we got this. And maybe I was like really more ambitious when I was thinking that swing could be cool, but push was great. It was great.
Yeah. I remember seeing the 4, and the one that is arguably the easiest to program and build is spin, because you can literally put a gear on an axle and it spins. That doesn't mean that what you do with that is simple by any means. But my thought with it was, if we got spin, we would have to have multiple things spinning and show it off in multiple ways, which as you watch the episode, you see one team really do that, because I felt like otherwise they might argue that it's too simple. And so I was a little bit nervous about, if we got spin, that we would have to overdo it, or like really think about, like, how do we make this like in a million different ways spinning. So that one was my last, or was not my last choice, but was one that I was like, I probably wouldn't have picked it. Push was my last choice, because the other 3 the other 3 I could instantly come up with ideas for. But push, I felt like there was a block in my brain of like, what could I do with this actual with this movement? I felt a little bit more stuck, whereas like the others, it felt like it was instant for me. Of, spin, I thought you could do a carousel, or a Ferris wheel or something, or both, and have one going this way and one going this way. Twist, I don't know, that I felt like that was the one that was hardest for me to come up with an idea. So, but in hindsight, I'm actually really glad that we got push, because it felt like we were able to be more creative with, and had to think harder with coming up with a story, which I thought ended up resulting in a more fun story. So
me too.
Yeah. Philip says the edit looked like push was not ideal for John and Justin, especially Justin. Yes. I think I was directly quoted saying, John said push wouldn't have been my first choice, and I said push was my last choice. And that is true. So but it was super fun. And also, like, I was very glad that we weren't in a position to have to choose a team to go head to head against. I wanted someone else to choose us, just so that I didn't have to have that responsibility.
I'm going to turn the table. Who would have you chosen?
Okay. Of course you turn the table.
Of course I did, because then I'm going to go around the court, but I want you to do it. You to do it first.
Fine. Okay. I will say that we will just say it can't be Maia and Jamie, because that's who we ended up with. So if I'm choosing from all of the other teams, honestly, like, I really didn't want to have to choose anybody, because I was like, everybody's good at all these different things in all these different ways, and I was nervous.
Justin, you have to choose.
Okay.
Do I have to put on like all right, come on, builders. All right, here we go. Justin, who are you going to go and build off? Who are you going to challenge yourself against?
I would challenge myself against Anne and Luke.
Anne and Luke, great job.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Luke. Perfect.
Maybe that's a bad decision. I'm not sure. Honestly, like, Luke is so good at motion that would have been like, why did I choose someone that like is he knows himself to be good at motion, and like I think we all went into the competition knowing that he knows that about himself. So I don't know.
Good luck to you guys.
I know. I was like, maybe that's a bad decision.
Maia and Jamie. I want to know.
Jamie, who would you have chosen if you couldn't have us as
if you both have a different one, you would have chosen?
Yeah, that'll be interesting if we do. I actually kind of thought about this before, because I thought you guys were going to ask this question. And I have actually thought about it for 3 years, because that's how long it's been done. And I did actually really enjoy going head to head against you guys. And I think going in, would I have wanted to go against people I thought I could beat, or would I wanted to go against someone I thought we could have fun with? And genuinely, I came on the show to learn and to have fun. So if it can't be you guys, because we were already head to head, I feel like we connected, our 2 teams, and we also really connected with Joe and Anthony. And I think we would have had a ton of fun just going back and forth. And obviously there's a lot of stuff that gets cut from the final edit for the TV show. But we were next to each other so much, like our build tables. And we were always going back and forth. We saw a little bit about it in the Over the Falls episode. But basically, most of that was cut from the final edits, and I think we would have had a ton of fun, just like we had fun with you guys in the head-to-head. So I wouldn't have wanted to beat them. I wouldn't have wanted them to beat us either. But I mean, same goes with you guys. Like, that was just so hard, right?
Yeah.
So but
What about you, Jamie?
So it's funny because that was actually the team I was thinking of as well.
Oh yeah, nice.
For sure, just because, like Maia was saying, we were doing a lot of stuff together. And she pointed out episode 3, and we saw a little bit of the interaction on the episode. But I remember I was running to the brick pick to get something, and I just said, "Hey, you guys need anything?" Right? And it was just, that for me was telling me we were now comfortable, A, with the brick pit, and B, we were comfortable with everybody that was around us. And yes, this was a competition, but we wanted everybody to do really, really well. We wanted everybody to bring their best. So if you were going to win, you're going to beat the best. And if you were going to, of course,
keep going,
and if you were going to lose, then you wanted to lose because those people really beat you and stuff. And that's why I think I know when Anne fell as well.
Oh, here we go.
No,
got to bring it up.
Well, absolutely no. But I remember it was funny because they would always tell you guys. They would always tell all of us to stay in our basically in our boxes and behind they didn't want us going around the other side of the table and building and all that kind of stuff. And I remember when I saw her fall, I started to go, and then Maia's like, "You got to stay here. You got to stay here. We can't leave." And like for me, it's like, no, somebody just fell. Like you want to do that. But I saw Luke like running over to his mom, and I was like, okay,
from the far opposite.
It's like from the other end. But it was we were building up friendships and stuff at that point, and like I said, I said, "You guys need anything?" And that's why there's a part where I'm like throwing Anthony a brick, and he catches it. That was in the episode, and it was like, that was what we were doing, right? And so. Like Maia said, I think those two guys probably would have been the ones I would have chosen as well.
I love that. And I love what you said about building up friendships on a show where we're building.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But very true. Yeah.
I know we're just driving this episode. I know it's just...
It is perfect. I love it. John, how about you?
I would say
I forgot to practice my eye rolls before I came on.
Oh no. Well, you're nailing it right now. So
there you go.
I'm like kind of Maia actually again. I thought about it after the fact, and I'm like, it would have been fun to go Texas versus Texas, being a Texas team. Yeah. So I would have either chosen Anthony and Joe. But I think secretly, like deep down, I would have gone after. I've been like, oh, Sage and Ian, we're going to go up against it because it would have just been fun to riff back and forth with them. Because I think up until that point, we were always on the opposite side of the build room than them. And even I think there was like one other challenge. I think that you both, Maia and Jamie, that you guys were near us, but Sage and Ian were always far away from us. And I'm like, oh, it would just be fun to be next to them. And build against them. So, but I am very, very happy that it happened the way that it did. I mean, except for the end, but it is what it is. I mean, that's what's fun about the competition is that it's like it's head to head.
Yeah, I like what you said too about how whomever you were with or against, I guess, competing against, you'd be put table by table, and so. This was, I guess, really the first opportunity where we had to kind of pick somebody that we would be near, which I don't think any of that would have crossed my mind in the moment during that time. But that's a good point because I think there's some people that like we just never really built next to them. I think Anne and Luke we built next to the very first week for Star Wars, but that was like so chaotic and everything that I didn't feel like we were engaging much with the people beside us because we were also like overwhelmed. But later on in the competition, I don't know.
Justin, we were in panic mode. We were like, I'm trying to like not go home. Like, don't go home, don't go home, don't go home. Don't go home. Like we were all like, bum, 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 bum.
Right?
Episode.
But yeah, so once we all got assigned our build challenge partners and our motions, then the well, I guess the challenge team, or I don't know, somebody, or maybe we went up to the front to grab the little sample that we had of our motion. And the idea was that was just to like give us some like inspiration. And it was also just to have the visual identity when the cameras are over by our tables so that people at home would know like, oh, this team is working on push or twist or whatever. So that wasn't necessarily a part of the build. It was more just like the visual reference that we had, which was fun. And we dove into starting to plan out our builds. And so I'm going to show, we have a fun clip of y'all talking about your build. So let me share that one. If I can find the right clip, I think it's...
Listen, you're getting so good at these clips. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're so sweet. Let's see. I think it is... I think that's the head to head. I think it's this one. Okay, we're going to try it. We'll see.
Question: does pineapple belong on pizza? No, it tastes horrible. But we have incorporated our movement right into the streets. We have the Pineapple King coming to take over the pizza shops and 4 different directions of pizzas running for their lives. There's no in between. You either like pineapple on pizza or you don't.
It's fantastic.
So, of course, the question of the evening is, do you like pineapple on pizza? And why or why not? So I'm guessing those were your real answers from the show. Is that true?
Yeah. And I think that was one of the things that we were having so much fun about with the build is we always kind of go back and forth at home, you know, when we're ordering pizza and we can't order, you know.
Good order too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One for me and one for him.
Same at our house. Yeah, for sure. What about you, John?
Jamie, so what pizza or like pineapple and what?
Oh, pineapple and ham. That's a Hawaiian pizza.
And what do you put anything else on it?
Cheese.
Well, of course, cheese.
There's also sauce and dough. I'll save you.
That's it. There you go. Well, see, I got to bring up all the dad jokes, right? So I got to keep bringing that out.
Really? Did not know that part.
Don't try it.
Yeah.
That's right, Phil.
So in our house, we disagree. I love pineapple on pizza, but
I'm sorry to cut this interview short. I'm gonna log off.
Hold on. Bev said something on there I think was pretty good.
Yeah, Bev says, I love pineapple, so I will eat it on pizza. I love that it's like one of those silly debates that doesn't matter, but is like people get really excited about. And I thought it was such a fun idea and concept for your story. I just like that's just super, super cute. So and here it's funny, like Bev and Missy live in the same house. Missy says I don't like pineapple to begin with, so I won't want it on my pizza. So I guess there's no household where people can get along on their pizza toppings is what I'm learning today.
Maybe it's like you have to live with people that either like pickles or don't like pickles, so there's always someone to eat the pickles, right? Which is
that's fair, right? Yeah.
And we arm wrestle for the pickles, and it's not great.
Yeah. Wendy, another question that's super, super important in my opinion. Wait, yeah, go ahead. Yes, John.
Jamie, happy after Father's Day.
Yes. Happy Father's Day.
Forgot this. Happy Father's Day.
Yes.
Thank you. Very nice.
To our dad joke king. Yeah.
Oh my God. I feel like we should have been honoring you from the first syllable.
Absolutely. No, it's all good.
Meyer's like, God, stop inflating his ego right now, please.
No, you know what? It was I spent some time with Maia here and her family, and my son came up, so it was good. I mean, we really enjoyed our time. I can see all the comments popping up about pickles and pineapple on pizzas. It's hilarious.
Right.
Yeah. Well, who knew that we were going to get such a debate going on? 30 minutes in. So
but what I love though about our season 2 is that I felt like we had like Anne was like our resident mom, and then Jamie was our resident dad, and I was like, I felt like I was like, oh, my parents are here, like in a good way, like in a very like nurturing way. Like you couldn't have been more supportive, nice, kind to everyone, and I mean I don't just mean that. I really felt it. So like, thank you for just being amazing, because you made it just that much more enjoyable for, I think, for everybody. Everybody was comfortable, and you made a point of making everybody comfortable.
Well, thank you very much. It was very kind of you to say that. I know in the second episode when we were paired up with teams and we were paired up with Anne and Luke, Anne and I were joking. We were saying we should just like have a couple of chairs and sit over on the sidelines and have like a couple of cups of like coffee or something. And say, you guys are doing great, kids. Keep going. You know.
I love it.
We only had 4 hours, so I told me he wasn't allowed to do that.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. That challenge in particular, right? No, I echo what John had to say, and I think one of the things that we've all said this a million times, but we all value so much the family that we gained from this wonderful experience. And I really felt like, Jamie, you just have such a huge heart. So happy Father's Day, of course.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'm glad that y'all got a chance to spend some time together yesterday, which is fun, and today because of this. So
true.
before you have to go to your work shift. So sorry.
That's okay.
Busy night, but yeah. So
another busy night in the ER. It'll be fun.
Yes. Right. Sure. Yes. I like it. So I don't have a video of us sharing our build, but John, do you want to describe our build with push, pull, and nudge? Which I'll show a picture of it in a minute. But.
I would love to. And you know what's funny is that I just also realized that I'm wearing your scrub color too.
Oh yeah.
I just realized that the second that you both went on. I'm like, oh, I love that.
I know.
When we were coming up with our concept, like we knew that like we wanted to do something that was industrial. So we created this scene, which was push, pull, and nudge. But that we had these 3 robots that were in this factory that were going on a journey. 2 of the robots were fully charged, but then one of their best friends, Nudge, their battery was out. And so they had to cross this almost like this kind of an obstacle course of different things across this factory in order to get to the battery that is up in like this, this far-reaching shelf. And so Justin kind of created these really unique robotic characters, and I mean they're so adorable. They're so cute.
Thank you.
So. And then we built like this scene where they were kind of dodging some things that were running a lot. They were kind of protruding from the wall and coming out and pushing from the wall. And it ended up like all done in like this scene of like this greebled backdrop of industrial like wheels and motion and things. So, I mean, we had so much fun with it. We had so much fun with push, pull, and nudge.
We did. I want to show, so in my week to week prior to, or as we were preparing for the weeks of the episodes airing, which we had 1.5 years to prepare, so we had plenty of time. I built little sample models of different things that were from the different episodes. And so I do have my push mechanism here. So this is very similar to the push mechanism that John and I built, which he actually did the motion elements of this one, I believe this week. And he also did the greebling. So greebling, for those who don't know, if you look at the side of this, greebling is using random parts in different shapes and such to add some different texture. So it's part of the kind of elements of storytelling, but that was something that John worked on for a lot of the build. And then I built the little robot characters. So this one is Nudge after they've been revived. So in our build story, push and pull were bright blue and lime green, and nudge was actually the color of John's shirt. It was that dark red color because it had fallen asleep because it was out of batteries. And so when I built this one, I decided instead of building push or pull, I would build nudge after the story ends where they have the batteries, which is fun. So that's why they're bright red. But a fun. Yes. Oh,
Maya,
yes.
Were you about to bring out some greebling? Were you about to?
So we don't have any builds from the show, but we still actually have how we did our post function.
Oh.
And so you can see.
Zoom in real quick. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, I love a good movement.
Right?
I do.
Which So this movement I learned from y'all after it was over too, and I incorporated it into a mock that I built, but it was following the guidance of you for this incredible build. So thank you for sharing that, and I love that you have that here. But yeah,
so I thought about it before we went on. I would have had it ready, but I think it's right over there.
That was perfect. That was perfect.
I was kind of ill prepared. It's fine.
No, you're good.
Well, I must say, if I can jump in, I really loved your build. I honestly, as we were getting closer and closer to the judging, I was like, oh, I don't know. You guys had such a great build. I love the fact that like the one who was like was out of juice had the Z's across. I just like, I was like, man, they've thought of everything. Like this is just your characters were so good. They were so well developed. The whole scene was well developed. We were really like we were really nervous. I gotta say, I was like, oh no,
we were nervous.
Thank you. Yeah,
and I liked how they really popped. How they had the bright colors versus the gray background, right? And even though there was a lot of greebling and detailing going on in the background, they still stood out so much because of the colors that you chose. So
thank you so much.
Great job.
I remember looking over at one point and seeing your pineapple and thinking that is so silly and fun, and I loved the face, and I just was like, oh gosh, like there, because for one, it was bigger than what we were going with too. Like one of the pieces of feedback that you don't see on the episode, but that we got from Amy and Jamie when they came through, was your scene is really small and tight. And we want it to be bigger. And the challenge there was, by the time we got that feedback, the motion was already built into the back walls. So to like undo that and rebuild the motion was not possible with the amount of time we had. So we went up and made it taller, which was helpful, but I wish we would have had time to expand it wider as well. And I think that's something that y'all did a really good job with, was having more of a landscape and more space to work with, that then allowed the movement that you had to show off even better because of the different placement of where you had something. So, which right now what we're doing is exhibiting exactly the problem that we had as teams. So there was a really fun moment that we all loved that I want to show y'all that when Will came over to pester us. So let me pull this one up and we'll chat about it in a second.
Jamie, historically, we've tried to get our teams to talk trash, but maybe you guys should try to out-compliment each other.
Oh,
let's hear these compliments.
That color is flattering on you.
Wow.
Excellent. I just love all the details that you're putting in there right now. Fantastic.
Your build could be the best one in the room.
Only second to yours.
Oh, snap! Second to yours! Okay, both teams, compliment me.
Great stash.
Thanks.
Your style is outstanding.
Well, some might say.
You look great for 41.
Oh. We have a winner, Season 5 LEGOMasters. It's John and Justin. Everybody go home. Great job, you guys.
There we go. I just want to share that the host of the show did announce us as the winners of the season. So that's the moment that we have, thanks to John's amazing compliment.
I would have said 35, but I don't know.
Right? Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Anyhow, that was so fun, and I felt like that clip is indicative of what our experience was as the four of us, but also just kind of in general with the show. Like, we were all there having so much fun and loving on each other. There's a moment in there too when Maia runs by and stops at our table and says something about like, oh, that's so cute, or like gives us a compliment. And I just love it. Like, I felt like that was the vibe that we had specifically between our teams, but also just kind of in general with the show. So yeah.
Yeah, I think part of the problem was too, like for the first couple episodes, we were actually at the front of the room near the brick pit, which was a great advantage because you didn't have to run as far. But the pit runner. But it was interesting being in this episode, the very last table, because then you could go by and see everyone else's builds, which we hadn't really gotten the chance to. up until this point. I was walking by and, oh yeah, that's cute. Oh, that looks good. And yeah, I think it was Ann and Luke and Nikki and Britton that were also on our side. So I got to see their builds going by, and so that was different. I liked that a lot, actually. But
we also had a different challenge as well. So
oh yes,
we had a challenge within the challenge.
Yes.
That was me. I was under the weather. I had caught something just before the show started, and that episode I was like, they literally had to pull me out of the off the set and take me outside and try and give me as much as they possibly could. I was like thinking this is the episode where they had the medic folks were working overtime to try and get me back in there.
He was green. He was hiding behind the table. I'm just in the microphone. I'm like, come get him.
That's right.
Take him. Take him. Help.
We need him offset. Yeah.
Well, I think that was the episode too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we filmed that week. We filmed 4 episodes in 5 days. And this episode, I believe we finished filming Wicked, had lunch break, and then came back and started filming this one because we had filmed into the evening, and I think he was just like not going to make it. So I sent him away, and that's why I was working on all the characters, because I needed to wait for him to come back to do all like the movement under the ground. So I built up all the landscaping and stuff, but I couldn't really build on top because he had to do all the mechanics. And so I was building all the characters and such. And then he was down for the count all night. We didn't even know if he was going to come back the next day. And he rallied. I think he was back for about an hour, maybe 45 minutes. And that's where the entire episode was filmed for us two. And all the interactions with you guys was just hilarious.
Yeah.
And then he just like dipped again. He's like, nope, forget it.
and then right at the very end, I was actually feeling really well. And again, I always love to see the parts of the cutting room stuff. That would have been great because Will came over with an actual pizza box with with pineapple pizza in it. And I remember grabbing the pizza and I was like, oh, this is really good. And I'm like, cheers. And I bit into it and I hadn't eaten anything, I think, in probably close to like 36 hours at that point.
Oh my God.
And I was like, this is really good. Like I probably could have eaten a cardboard box at that point. I was just like, so hungry.
I love that that part of the story, and that was something that so I was actually watching for that tonight because I couldn't remember if it aired or not. But there is a moment where Will says, "I'm going to order pizza for y'all," and asks what you want, and then he pretends like the producer said that he can't say or I don't know. It basically gets dismissed and moves on. And they don't actually come back to it in what you see at home. But what was really fun was we all heard that same exchange and just assumed it was Will being silly. And it was like an hour later that someone shows up with an actual pizza box and gives it to Will. And the pizza box had like its own design on it because I'm sure they couldn't do like Domino's or like a specific company. So it had like a LEGOMaster specific pizza design that also wasn't like Lego group stuff. It was their own thing. And I remember thinking, I'm so curious as to whose job it was to quickly design a pizza box, print it, have it like put together so that they can actually like drop this in there. It was so cool because we got to see the magic of TV happen. But and
it's in a lot of the footage and pictures from near the end of the episode. So I think he brought in the last hour or so.
Oh my gosh.
So it was pretty close to the end because you were back, and there's pictures of it. It exists.
Did they give you the pizza box?
No, I think we left it. They kept trying to take it. I'm like, leave it.
They did leave the pizza box because when you take a look at our overall picture, you can see the pizza box just on the corner and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mowed down on the pizza though.
I will confirm that Will does not like pineapple on his pizza. He was not impressed.
Right?
I think I think he was just not impressed with gluten. I think that's probably, he's an actor. So yeah.
That might have been it for sure. For sure. I just found, I think.
Will, if you're watching, just let us know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will,
here
we
we
would
go.
love for you to join us.
Look right there, y'all.
Oh,
there it is.
look, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's so fun. Let me see if I can, I don't think it'll let me zoom in any bigger. Let's see. That did not help. It just moved us off the screen. But yeah, that was the pizza box. And we were all like, oh my gosh, this is so silly and fun. So,
and while that picture's up, just something else fun that we did while we were on the show. Every single time we started a challenge, I always said to my dad, I said, the hardest part about any build is getting started. I said, it's those first 2 bricks that you put together. So before every build, we would go grab pieces from the brick pit, and we'd always grab a red and white 2x4 brick. Those are always the first 2 pieces that we put together. We put it at the top for Canada, of course, red and white.
Oh my goodness.
And then I said, the hardest part's done. We've already got our first 2 pieces together.
Yeah.
That's too sweet. I love it.
We tried to get in as many pictures as we could, but sometimes the clean team would come and just like swoop everything off the table.
Yeah.
We're like, no, give our Canada bricks back.
Oh, I see. Like right in front of your build here.
Yeah.
Okay, I was looking for it. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. I love that so much. I love that so much. So here's a cleaner picture of your final build, which was so cool. And I wish that I had the video that showed us like with the movement moving for both of ours. But this was your final build. And then I'm going to pull up ours. Let's see.
It looks so good. I honestly, I forgot about the whole like the I forgot about like the water in the front and the boat, because I just remember the city, but I had forgot about the front of. Oh, it looks so good.
Just such great detail, and I loved that it really did feel like a slice of a city that was kind of pulled out for us to view.
A slice of the city.
Slice.
I got that one.
Can like Lego turn this into a modular build, please? Because I feel like I want this in my city now.
Yes.
Yeah.
With a pineapple monster. And then this was ours. I wish with both of these that I could zoom in for us to see all the closer the pictures. But you can see push and pull are the blue and the green on the left and right, and nudge is the red, the dark red kind of hidden in the back. One of the challenges that we had when we started to put it all together was I was working on the robots here on the left, and John was working on the right on all the greebling and details and such. And once I started to move them into the setting, it was like, oh, these ended up being bigger than I thought they were. So that was one problem. But then the other problem is they didn't, while they're posable, the joints that I was using were joints that were a little bit too loose. And so it was the same problem I think that John had mentioned from the Zog. From Zog. So some of the posing wouldn't hold its pose like standing or in positions. And our initial plan was to have one of them jumping from one pedestal to another. And it just wasn't possible with the amount of time that we had to get it to pose correctly. So I think there were plenty of things that, you know, all of us could probably look at our builds and say there's a million things we'd like to change or whatever. But I feel like that's part of the fun of it is like you learn some different pieces through all of it. What's been fun is as I've been displaying my builds as like mocks at conventions. I have this one sitting on that moving thing, and you can see the head spins really easily. And basically throughout every convention, as the thing moves, it ever so slightly moves its head over and over and over again. And about every 15 minutes, I realize that like it looks like this, and I need to spin it down. So the head is too loose as well, but these are super fun to have a little.
I thought it was going to be like you think it's like it's been possessed. And
The Exorcist.
Literally turned around. I'm like,
meanwhile, there's like a kid that's really messing with you and turning it.
Right? That's probably what's actually happening. It's got to be Corey.
The kid's me. It's
I was going to say it's
Maya. I love it. I wouldn't put it past you. That's funny. The other fun, just side story that we have was the producer who was the head producer over the challenge team, which is the team that puts together all of the challenges and everything. He texted us, I think it was like a year after we were filming, and it texted John and I and said, hey, look at my new desk. And he had gotten a new job where he's working in a different way with LEGOMasters, which is super fun. And on the side of his desk was Pole, the lime-colored one. So he said when they left set that he took that one, and he said that the other challenge team members fought over who could take nudge and push. So the other two are somewhere in somebody's homes, which is super fun. So, but that was like such a touching thing. And it was fun because it was like the day after I had finished building the red nudge. So I was able to snap my photo and be like, oh my gosh, look at my office little build. So, and let's see, we've got a question in the chat. I want to pull this up. Let's see. Here's a question. On set, is it all standing building or adjustable tables and stools? Great question. We had stools at tall tables that we could use. John and I didn't really use them. Did y'all use yours?
I think there was one episode that I tried to. I think it was episode 3 because we had been standing for however many days straight doing the first 2 episodes. And I think by the 3rd episode, I thought, oh, I need to sit down for a little bit. But then I found sitting actually was more painful because the stools were so uncomfortable. And then you had to like climb up onto it and get down. And I mean, I'm tall, but even for me trying to climb up, I can't imagine being a smaller person trying to climb up onto these stools, right? And so at one point I just like forget it, and I like tossed it to the side and didn't use it again. So
I use mine a lot in this episode just to help me get off the ground. So
yeah.
And when he means using it, he wasn't sitting on it. He was like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is fair. I felt like we ended up using ours. Hi, Cassie. I feel like we ended up using ours more as an extra little bench to put bricks. Like I don't feel like I used it as a seat much more. And I also like what I'm doing here. I'm at my standing desk. I have it at standing height today. And what I'm doing now of leaning on this chair, I think I did that a lot with the table and or with the stool. So yes, we did have one. It wasn't super comfortable. It was hard to get up on. I'm also tall and have really long legs. And I remember being at super awkward setup in there. So, but I also like, if I ever have a choice to use a chair versus a stool, I will always choose a chair. I hate stools.
You have to think like you have a minimal amount of time. You know, you only have like a handful of hours to complete. And in the middle of like putting a piece down, you're going to think of another piece that you need. And then you're going to start realizing, oh, I need to run over. And I'm like, Justin, do you need this? And then you're just constantly moving. So unless you have all the pieces in front of you, like you're standing. But I do remember there were some times like with the tentacles with Zog, or even like with, oh my God, all that green with Wicked, I definitely leaned. And I definitely parked on that very uncomfortable stool for a little bit just to like rest my back because heck, we're not 20.
We're no spring chickens.
My lower back was hurting a little bit more than usual.
For sure. And the floors, I don't remember us having comfort mats under our
no.
Right? No. I'm pretty sure it was just whatever our shoes were. So so yeah, but I mean, I will say they treated us well, of course, but I think there's some realities of like, that's a studio space and whatever. So the head-to-head challenge, it was super fun. We were like very focused on the other person we're competing against, but I also remember multiple times looking around the room and getting glimpses of other people's builds. And the ones that really stood out to me, and part of this might've been the way we were facing, were Anthony and Joe's, and Sage and Ian's, and I think they were the teams like directly across from us. But I like vividly remember seeing when Anthony and Joe were practicing their spin mechanism and seeing all the different ways it's spinning and thinking, yep, that's what I was concerned we would have to do, is like make it go all over the place, and they did such a good job with it.
Mhm.
And one thing I really appreciated with their build was their brick built doctor, the Dr. Spin character. I felt like he had such presence and was just so beautifully sculpted. And I also loved that they chose to make him black. And I think that's something that, you know, often with Lego Masters, the minifigs that we had to use were all yellow skinned. And so the only way to do different skin tones is to build it into your characters. But that was something that I thought was pretty cool. But had like this beautiful purple suit with like coattails and stuff. And it just was a really great build. And then Sage and Ian's cat just blew me away of like, it's the cutest little thing. Not little, it was big, but such an adorable little character. So I'm curious if y'all also remember like seeing anything across the room or around that wasn't our team or yours that you really appreciated or really enjoyed looking at.
I'm going to be honest, I could not really pay attention to much because I was a solo builder for that episode. I had lots of elbow room, which was great. But I mean, I had no time. I had like no time. And I think, I would, you know, check out what you guys were doing, of course. Your direct competition. But no time to really look at anything. I remember seeing Anne and Luke's build because it was so tall. I mean, you could not really miss that looking around, but I think that was also because I was running towards it whenever I needed pieces. And that was.
I think he spent just a bit of time though with Corey and Rebecca though too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I did. I forgot about that. That was also good. It was funny because they had just helped us out with the Wicked episode, right? At the very beginning, they were explaining Wicked to us because we had never seen it. No, the movie wasn't out yet. And I remember they were struggling with, I think, the faces of their dancers. And they were I think it was the mouth specifically. And so I went over and I was working on their faces with them. Just for, you know, like 10 minutes or whatever it was. And I said, whatever you guys need, you know, you helped us, like, I'll come help you. And so I was over there for a little bit. So I did get to see their build near the end. But unfortunately, that was cut. So.
But the part where I actually did see Anthony and Joe's with all the spinning, I think that might have been part of the reason why I wasn't feeling well. You know what? Maybe that's what it was.
If you went head to head with them, I would have blamed them for sure.
Yeah, I would have never made it back.
No. I just remember looking around the room this time. And it's interesting because I think in each episode, there were a couple moments where I remembered seeing something that like vividly I'll remember. So like the waterfall one, I remember seeing the face of the monkey. I remember seeing the head of your pig. And I remember seeing the inner tube that they were building for the lion, but I didn't see anything else with the lion. I just saw the inner tube. And I probably was aware of both of those because we were building with pink as well. And I was like, oh gosh, there's 3 teams with this color. And then the Wicked episode, I remember seeing all the fruit that Anne and Luke were building. I think they were across from us that time too. And I remember looking over and seeing Nikki and Britton's huge bottle type box that they were building, the love potion. And just because it was large and they did such a good job with like specific colors. But it's just funny to me that as I'm watching these episodes, every time I see the builds that I remember distinctly, it's like I get pulled right back into that moment, which is so fun. And this one, I think the things I think of first are probably Sage and Ian's cat. And then secondly, your pineapple. Like it's branded in my brain from this episode, which is so fun. But yeah, it's just fun to me how memories work that way. So
I love. I looking back at it. I mean, I was like enamored by Ben and Michael's ship with the clouds and
so cool.
the detail of the ship itself. And I just remember seeing, you know, the motion of like the clouds going back and forth and just thinking, wow, that was a really smart way to put that one motion, but like in multiple different like dimensions, but in angles. And I thought, oh man, that would have been cool if we would have done XYZ. And I feel like that's a really good compliment, is like when you see something in someone else's build, and then even if it's a different function, you're like, oh, that could have taken me to the next level if it would have done that. But still, it was just like credit where credit is due. Like that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
And I love a good pirate ship. So I was, even though this was flying, obviously, but I was all about it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. This episode for me was also just so fun because we talked about this a little bit last week, since motion was the first challenge we had. Motion was wicked, but I felt like I was still learning the most in terms of movement and motion. And so I think I was both really intimidated by this challenge and also really excited about it, because it was like such a cool opportunity to learn in this really unique space. And learn from people who were excellent at it. Like, you know, we had so many people on our season that knew so much, and that we could also ask questions of and help each other out. It really did feel cool in that sense. So
did you I have a question. During judging, did you think before they set us up that they would go head to head, that they would put our builds right next to each other and like square off?
Yes.
That would make sense.
Just like, we'll go with the next, and then the next one with it. But I was like, oh no. And I'm like, pineapple beats push pull nudge. I was like, yeah.
I don't know. I think we made it really hard for them. I think everyone made it really hard for them. And I think it was mentioned too that this episode in particular was the hardest they had to judge. And they said everyone brought their A game.
Yeah.
And I didn't really get a chance to see a lot of the builds on set. So I'm speaking from seeing it on air when it was finally released. Yeah. And one of my favorite builds was actually Nikki and Britton's build with their raining cats and dogs. Like, they just had so much fun with it. And their vehicle had so much character, the expression. And, you know, I think that was their best build of the season.
Yeah.
And like you could just see everyone having so much fun. And the fun thing about this episode too, there was a bunch of us that were down for Brick World Chicago last year, and Ann and Luke so graciously hosted us to have a watch party at their place on the Monday after Brick World Chicago was done. And so we had, how many of us were there? Well, obviously Ann, Luke, there was myself, there was Joe and his family, Sage and Ian. And we were all sitting there watching this episode. And I think this was probably the most fun episode to watch with everybody together. And I mean, there's so many good memories from filming, but also from watching the show. And I think everyone did so good on all of the builds. So love to see it.
I absolutely agree too. I think people really gave it their all with this episode, and it felt like people were doing their best work, which was really exciting. To me, the Nikki and Britton story was powerful, and the face and emotion that they captured in their I was trying to find a picture and I can't figure out from the tiny little pictures and the files which one it is, but the face that they had in their vehicle was adorable and looked sad, and like it really did have a bad day. And I remember distinctly during that episode when they had put it together with the wheels on it, and the wheels kind of like sunk out to the sides. Initially they were like, oh no, it's not standing up solid, and then they took a moment and looked at it and thought, actually this is perfect. Like, it adds to the emotion of like, oh, bummer. It was so cute. And I think that's where, when fast forward to the, there were top four and bottom four. So the head-to-head battles, it was one team winning, one team automatically in the bottom four. The battles had, let's see, it was Corey and Rebecca versus Ben and Michael first. Ben and Michael ended up in the bottom. It was
Bring It. Sorry.
That's right.
Right? Yeah. Rebecca's Bring It, which I loved. It was Anna Luke
iconic.
That's it.
It really was. I love that. And I love that that was captured forever in the show. Anna, Luke, and Nikki and Britton, were in the bottom. Anthony and Joe and Sage and Ian, with Sage and Ian in the bottom. And then us, with y'all in the top and us in the bottom. So congrats, for sure. Absolutely. But I remember just like feeling, as we were watching the different teams beat out other teams, who was in the top and the bottom, I started to get really nervous because it was like everybody's good, and it was scary to then be in the bottom four for sure. So, but yeah, it felt like everyone deserved to be there for sure, which I felt like that the whole season, but it just felt like the energy here, and I think honestly, I wonder how much of that was the head-to-head energy. Like how much of that fueled us to do things in a different way, or and I remember being so impressed with your build, period, just incredible. But also when you factor in and think about the fact that, Maia, you built so much of that by yourself, and the amount of what you accomplished in that amount of time, it did not look like one person built it. It looked like two people worked on it the entire time. And so major credit to you for that. And like that to me was like, wow, super duper impressive. So
Thanks,
and I adored your pizza slices. I honestly, I remember thinking like, I want to remember what it looks like so I can build one later, because I think they're so cute. And actually now we've got these reference photos, so I could probably build one to have a little representative of y'all on my LEGOMaster shelf behind me. So John, what were you thinking or feeling kind of going into knowing the bottom four? Or
I would say, I mean, that to be in the bottom four and the bottom four teams, and to walk up and it's just the line of us there. I mean, I think that was a LEGOMaster first for there to be four right up for elimination. And because everyone did such a good job and there were so clear compliments, even strong builders, I think there was a moment of like, ooh, any one of us, like in their opinion, like could go home right now. And that was nerve-wracking. That was like my heart was definitely beating as they paused, and you're like, oh my gosh, like why? I'm really freaked out right here. And it was, and I think especially because of our connection to them, it was like, it was so, it was like a gut punch when Nikki and Britton's, their names were called, because it's like, no, like we won a challenge together. Like I want to see everybody finish strong. But that was a hard elimination. That was a tough one. That's, I mean, when there's one team, there, like it's 50-50, but like it's a 25% chance. You're just like, oh my God, it can go any one of our ways. That was
and I think it's like really difficult being there when you're filming too, because if you really pay attention to reality TV, they kind of give hints as to, maybe who's struggling a little bit more, who's, doing better. And when we're there filming, you don't get any of that, right? I mean, when they give us feedback on our builds, you get positive feedback, and you also get constructive criticism, which you can take forward and improve upon, and which is great. So it didn't matter how good your build was. You always got both sides, right, of feedback. And, they don't show all that on TV. So you'll get, teams getting a little bit more negative feedback, or teams getting a little bit more positive feedback. And then you kind of get a bit of an idea of who might be in the bottom, who might be in the top. But being there, and everyone's got good things being said about their builds. And, sometimes it's really hard to focus on the positive. You focus on the negatives. And so you're thinking in my mind, well, they said I could improve this, and this. But then they're saying all these nice things about everyone else. Like that totally weighs on your mind as well, right? Until the final edits go through, and then you go, oh, okay, well, I see kind of what they did there. But at the time, it's so nerve-wracking standing there and having no idea.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I think for me was when, of course, like I said, they packed a lot of stuff in for us in a short period of time. Will's coming over, the judges are coming over, to have me there for that. It's like, prop me up you know, okay, he's there for 5 seconds. Okay, there he goes. Let's let him way down again. But I know, I know at one point, I remember Jamie coming over and saying specifically, he goes, "This is chaos."
I was like,
I
oh
love
no.
it. Yeah. I was like, no, is that a bad thing? No, he likes it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So
I love what you said too, Maya, about like how every time we would get both positive and constructive feedback. And I think that's something that I loved the most about the show is I felt like we got to be mentored by these incredible people that I have looked up to for so long. We all have, you know, Amy and Jamie are so brilliant. And the people at home, when they finally watch the episodes, don't get to see the 5 minutes that we each get, because that would be an entire episode. It'd be more than an entire episode for you to see all of that. But one of the pieces of feedback we got on this one was the scale it's a little too small and too tight in there, which we knew. And that's what we chose to prioritize to fix, which our fix was to build up because of time constraints. But another piece of feedback we got was all of your push mechanisms are coming out. It would be nice if one was going sideways. And we talked and debated, like, is it possible to do that? And there just wasn't time. And so it was like, we could have done that, but then everything, like the robots would have looked almost taller than the backdrop. And we needed it to look like they were going up or whatever. And so you kind of take what you can from that, prioritize where you can fit it in. And, but all of it was so helpful to get that type of feedback each time, each week, and to hear from each other. What feedback did you get and how did you learn and what did you do and whatever? Like, I felt like that was a lot of the fun pieces with the experience.
One thing I'll add onto that too is that, you know, when you're watching the show, you think, all right, there's probably 2 minutes that Amy and Jimmy are able to spend. And I remember, I mean, episode after episode, they would spend like 10 minutes with you. And the detail that they would go into about your specific build. And like, they're doing that for every single team. And I just remember being like, how much of like, it's not it's like there's TV magic, but then you like wonder, well, how experienced are they? These are master builders that are giving you 10 to 12 to 15 minutes of undivided attention and super specific feedback. And I remember like a lot of those little things. I'm like, gosh, I wish that they would just give us the footage for us to listen again. But we definitely took so much of that to heart. And I developed such an incredible respect for Amy and Jamie throughout like the judging process. And then even like when we're all up there and they're either like complimenting you or like kind of like roasting you for certain decisions, it's still so specific. And you're like, man, like you saw things that I never saw in the build. And I was always so impressed, but so appreciative, because I do think that we all became better builders because of it.
Yeah. Absolutely agree. And, you know, I feel like too, they had the opportunity to be so zoomed out from all of our builds. And also when they're not in the room with us, they're still watching backstage with a bunch of TVs that could show them all the things. And so they can see and take notes ahead of time to our check-ins to give us some good, helpful feedback. But also they can see, oh, they did not take our advice, or they did take our advice, or they're trying to figure out, like they probably could hear us even talking through what piece of this can we actually kind of move forward, you know? And I love what Brick Mama's saying here. If it's too bad there's no way to see all those behind the scenes stories you're talking about. Agreed. And I think that's one of the things that like anytime, you know, people will talk about the show and be like, I really wish there was more of this or this. I feel like, to me, I wish people could see more of that mentorship that happens. I mean, there's so much fun and silliness and all kinds of things that happen. There's so many things that happen that, you know, don't make the final cuts too. But
that's what I was going to mention. I know for us, he talked a lot. I mean, Will being from Toronto, and we're from Hamilton, which is like 60 kilometers, which would be 45 miles away from Toronto, and so we're very close. I'm just trying to connect.
I know.
You know,
That's sweet of you to do for the
converted into American.
Yeah.
And then, but it's one of those things. Like for us, he came and spent a bunch of time. He's like, "Well, Jamie, you're from up north," and I said, "Yeah, I grew up in a little town called Manitowaj," and he's like, "That's up in the North Shore of Lake Superior," and I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I did a lot of camping up there," and I remember there was a lot of conversations like that where he was chatting with us. Just I don't even know if it was supposed to be part of it or not, but just kind of like throwing that in, and obviously that all gets cut off, gets cut as well, right? Which would be nice to see. And then I know he, everybody was talking about my dad jokes, but Maia actually had probably one of the best dad jokes ever. When and they kind of, because Will had come over and he was like, "Well, you're just down the road, so you must be a big Toronto Maple Leafs fan." And I'm like, "Well," and stuff like this. And he goes, "You cheer for somebody else other than the Leafs?" And Maya goes, "Absolutely." So if you're a hockey fan, the Habitants or is another name for Montreal Canadiens. So she said, "Absolutely." And I said, that's gold. That's gold right there. I love it. And it got cut, and I was like, "No." And I know he also mentioned that somebody else on the staff was like a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. And he goes, I think he's getting fired next week or something." I was like, "Okay."
That's awesome.
But there was just all that kind of stuff, and I'm sure that you guys had similar situations with him, every week coming over and chatting with you guys.
Just so silly and fun and real and and off the wall, bizarre too sometimes, and you're like, "What?" Yeah.
And that's why you never know. You see these TV personalities, you don't know how they actually are in real life. And with Will, what you see is what you get, and he's hilarious. And it's been mentioned before, but he was our biggest cheerleader on the show, and man, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah. Cassie's asking, can or does Will ever build his own mocks? So we didn't get a chance to actually see him build on it, but what I will say is he comes over and talks to us as if we're all incredible artists and he's blown away by it. And I would say that I'm sure he could if he wanted to. I don't know that he dedicates his time like we all do. I don't know if he has rooms like this that are just full of Lego, but he's so generous with his feedback and friendliness and all that kind of stuff too, which is wonderful. And there are times where he's like carrying around mocks and or like things like in this episode where he made a mock and threw it and it blew up. I don't know if he made it. Maybe he did, which would be really fun. Maybe someone brought it to him and said, "Throw this." I don't know. But yeah. Well, so we're coming towards the end of our time, but to wrap up the episode. So the winners of the episode were Corey and Rebecca. I would say I think it was an absolute perfect win, and it made perfect sense for them to win. Theirs was twist, and they did two dancers doing the twist in front of a beautiful large jukebox background that was lit up and just so stunning. Really, really pretty and really, really nice. And unfortunately, we had to see Nikki and Britton go home. And like John had said, anytime, and we've said this every week, it's always the hardest part of the show was watching our friends leave. This episode, I think probably because we had that shared experience of getting to build with them and win with them in that one challenge with the wedding cakes, it hit me so hard. And I just started sobbing on set as we were like watching them leave, and like when we went to the group hug and everything. And one of the things I was a little nervous about was like, how much did they hyper focus on me like uncontrollably sobbing versus like letting them have their moment of going home? And I'm glad they didn't really zoom in too much. There's like a split second where you can see it's like right before all the tears just start coming. But I think for me too, it was like I had all of this emotion just pent up in me for so long. And like you said, Maia, this was our third of 4 episodes in a week, right? Or no, our second of 4. Anyway, it was
second
like a
of
really
4,
wildly long week.
And long hours. I mean, we're not doing 8-hour days because our days would start at like 5 a.m. getting to the studio, and they'd go. Sometimes we'd be out by like 7, 8 o'clock, and sometimes I know there was a couple nights we were there till like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and 14-hour days. But the thing was, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I found it fun. It was exhausting, but I had a blast the whole time.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know.
for sure.
Didn't have to cook or clean or do anything. They just kept bringing you coffee. Thank you, John.
Right? Yeah.
Oh my God, I think it was our first gathering where we were introducing ourselves and stuff. And you just said, "Hey, is anyone got coffee around here?" I'm like, "I'm going to sit next to that guy."
Yes, for sure. He's the right teammate to have.
What to be here during all this? I'm like, come on, we need to be caffeinated. Like, I'm sorry. I just, and I will be always the first person to like raise their hand and be like, "Is there craft services?" I'm sorry.
And you know what? It was all behind the scenes, but they were so great at bringing us anything that they need, like we asked for. And I mean, I remember they brought up the coffee, and I felt bad because they only had cream, and I can't drink cream. And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go get you some milk." And and I think he came 10 minutes later. He was back with milk. And I remember, because we weren't sleeping a lot, I was, not feeling well in the mornings when we would get on set and stuff. So I couldn't really eat. And I was like, "Hey, Edward, can you bring and just fill up our little cubby behind our build station with Gatorade?" And I went in, there was like 12 Gatorades. I'm like, "This is awesome." Like, the only thing I could drink until lunchtime. And I mean, other than the show, like there was so much that went on that,
Yeah. And even when I was sick, I remember he took, again, taking me outside of the studio and walking me outside. And I was just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, "Can I get, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get a ginger ale," because he was asking me different things. And my ginger ale, and I said, "Can I get 2 cups?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then I'm just pouring it back and forth. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, the ginger from the ginger ale is really good. The bubbles aren't so good when you're not feeling well." So I was doing it. That was something my grandmother used to do when I was little. When I wasn't feeling well, she would flatten out the ginger ale, and then I would drink the ginger and stuff, because I was eating a lot of ginger while I was there too, because I got that from Alex at home. But Alex was chewing on the root, and I was like, "What do you got there?"
I remember that.
I forgot about that.
And then everyone was staring at all the Canadians just like munching on ginger in the corner. Like, that's the worst Canadian thing. I was like, "Oh my gosh."
I forgot about that.
So shout out to Alex, because he actually kept me going for a good portion of the episodes that we were there.
See, then he was gone for episode 4, and then you were
like super sick.
Down for the count.
That's what happened. I think so.
Well, to go with the theme, I was just too tired.
Yeah. That's fair. So going to after this, we head away. We're all overwhelmed, emotional. I mean, Courtney and Rebecca are obviously feeling great about their win, but I think all of us are still feeling like this feels real. And we head in, and our next episode is our 3rd IP episode. So intellectual property of Batman, which is super fun. So next week we will be talking about the Batman episode, which is episode 6. So I won't go into any spoilers or anything about that, but that'll be super fun to chat with y'all about next week. But I wanted to say, first off, thank you so much for joining us. And curious if y'all have any plans for upcoming conventions or ways that people can stay in touch with y'all.
Do you want to start?
Sure. I will be going to Brickomania, or Brickomanie. That's the proper way to say it. En français, Brickomanie in Quebec, in Laval. So I'm going to be there in August. And then I will be at Bricks and the Six in Toronto, and possibly Bricksplosion in Halifax. But I understand, Justin, you're also going to be going to a different convention in the Montreal area. So I think St. Hyacinthe. So I may maybe pop my head in there too. We're waiting to see. So then you can actually say, "Hey, this guy actually is alive. He's like a real person.
He's not an avatar." Yes, it would be wonderful to see you, but I also fully understand that life is wildly busy. But that is a pretty hefty schedule and really exciting.
Thanks.
Maia, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm going to hopefully be at Scareback this year in September in Denmark, which is my first time going to that, which is exciting. And hopefully making it out to the Montreal I don't know if I'll be at the event or if I'll just be there to visit you and doing other things. So I haven't decided on that yet. There's Brick Roundup in Calgary, which I'm on the fence about just because there's so many events in September, October, November. And then booked for Bricksplosion in Halifax, of course, and Bricks in the Six in Toronto, which is in November. So all of those events are 2 weeks apart. So it's going to be very, bye everyone. So it's going to be very packed. And yeah, if you want to follow me, I'm at MB Bricks if you're not already.
Let me zoom back in to show. So we've got your handles at the bottom here. So MB Bricks for Maia and bricks.dad for Jamie. Right below those words. And Maia is on both YouTube and on Instagram. And Jamie, you're on Instagram?
Correct.
Yes, awesome. And then John and I will be at Brick Rodeo, of course. So I'm seeing Cassie saying Brick Rodeo. Yes, we'll be there.
Yes, you know it.
So the two of us for sure. And then you can, of course, always follow John with Brick Builder John. And of course, I'm Brady Turner Bricks. I will be going to that Montreal one, which I'm super excited about. And it'll be my first time to Canada. So I'm so excited. Yeah, Summit de la Brick. And that'll be in October.
Beautiful. So, wait, Maya, say that one more time.
Right? Yes.
Summit de la Brick.
Oh,
right? I need to learn how to pronounce this correctly for sure.
We say so.
My mom's cringing in the chat. It's fine.
Love it.
She's from Montreal, so she's like, nice. That's not right, Maya. Anyways.
But again, thanks everyone for joining. This has been
Merci.
This was so much fun, guys. Thanks so much for hosting.
Yeah, of course. Yes. And thanks everyone for joining online and peppering us with some fun questions. We'll see you again next week at 7:30 p.m. on Monday for the Batman episode. And I'll be live again this Wednesday, kind of mid-afternoon, building a Lego review set, which you will find out what it is then. Cool. Okay, awesome. Good to see y'all. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, friends.